Welcome to episode number 8 already of the launcher test. This series where we check out Minecraft launchers to eventually find the best one. In the last episode, for the first time in this series, we had a look at a launcher of a client. There is still a lot of confusion in the community what the difference is between a client and a launcher, but they are two completely different things. A launcher is simply an application which helps you launch and manage your game. It simply allows you to install mods, change your skin, have multiple different instances, and manage those accordingly. Clients, on the other hand, are modified versions of Minecraft. A version of the game which is modded, which usually improves FPS and adds some quality of life features. But using a client does mean you get a pre-made modded experience, instead of being able to choose all the mods yourself with a launcher. Nonetheless, clients are extremely popular among players. And over the course of this series, I've been asked so many times to have a look at some clients as well. But the series is still called the launcher test, which means we're only testing out Minecraft launchers. And because of that, I've started testing launchers of clients. So last episode, we had to look at the launcher of the Lunar client. Not all of the features that come with the Lunar client, just the launcher of the client. We checked out what it could do, if it allowed us to boot the game without even using Lunar, which it did, and we generally checked out how great the launcher of the Lunar client would stack up against other Minecraft launchers. And today we're gonna do exactly that. Once again, we're gonna have a look at the launcher of the Feather client. Also one of the most popular Minecraft clients out there. And what is funny is that they actually claim themselves they have the best Minecraft launcher. It is literally straight up there on their website. So let's see if that's actually true. Also, do make sure to double check if you're actually subscribed to the channel. 80% of my daily viewers is not, which is a huge percentage. We recently surpassed 100k and we're currently trying to climb our way to 200k. So if you could just double check, I would appreciate it so extremely much. And here it is, the Feather client. Let's have a look at what this launcher is all about. Now, I first of all want to say, it does look kinda great. Just like the launcher of Lunar, the design is pretty sleek. What is not sleek though, is the ads. Of course, there are once again ads in the bottom right. This seems to be a common theme with all of these client launchers. They all have ads, once again in the bottom right. For some reason, it is showing up really small. I don't really know why that's the case. Also, 90% of the time an ad is not shown there, which is also not optimal if they use this for revenue. So it seems like yes, ads is a thing, but they have not really set it up correctly. Now, it seems again like there is a way to get rid of these ads. If you purchase something with more than 600 points, ads will be hidden for 30 days. Now, I don't know what points are, but they're also talking about it in the bottom left. So here at the bottom we have news. Here they're talking about free points that you can earn. And next to that we have cloaks. Which is funny, because these cloaks appear very similar to Minecraft capes. And I assume you would also be able to just buy these with money. Or points in this case. I guess Feather also has its own in-game currency. Now we're currently inside of the Play tab. And besides the annoying ad in the bottom right and the news at the bottom, we have an incredibly big Launch Fabric button, which I assume will just boot our game. And next to that we will have a partner server section. Now, unlike Lunar, which just showed popular servers, without any clear indication if they were partners or not, Feather straight up says that yes, these are partnered servers. In other words, not the most popular servers will show up here. Servers that they actively have partnered with, those will show up. So I assume there is simply a way to partner up with Feather, which then allows you to have your server show up here. Which I guess if your server is PvP related, that is a great way to get some extra player base. Because these launchers are usually very popular among PvP players. Now before booting the game, let's have a look at the mods tab, because I assume we can just install mods here, and it seems like we can. Over here we can change versions, and it seems like we don't have a wide variety of choices. We're playing Fabric, period. The only versions here are Fabric versions, and there doesn't seem to be a way to play vanilla Minecraft or Forge, Neoforge or Quilt. It is just gonna be Fabric. I still hope we will find a way to at least play vanilla Minecraft, but the fact that it doesn't show up here scares me a bit already. Now there's also a default button, which I'm not sure what this will do. I think this is just our default installation, and we can give it a different name if we want. Okay, that's fair enough. It doesn't seem like I'm able to add a new installation though. I am able to import a profile, so that is a feature which exists, but that's it. Not more instances. Which concerns me. Why am I not able to just add a new instance, for example? Now, let's see what happens when I click on Add Own Mods. Okay, well, it simply opens my mods folder. That is very unfortunate. Please tell me there's a way to at least browse mods, maybe here in the top right. Ooh, okay. Okay, looking good so far. This is something which the client of Lunar could already not do. You were able to install every single mod loader, though if you wanted to actually install a mod for a mod loader, you would have to manually download and add them. Here we do actually have a browser. So let's say I want to install Sodium. I can just click and then we click on Add. There we go. Project Sodium has been successfully added. That's amazing. So next we're gonna add iris shaders. Yes, let's do it. Okay. And I would also absolutely love Resourceify. There it is. Let's click on Add. Okay. That is really, really cool. That is actually awesome. Now, outside of downloading stuff from Modrinf, there's also a Feather button, which I assume these are just mods uploaded to maybe the Feather website. That is kind of what it feels like. There's even a Hypixel tab, which I assume these are just mods that work really well on the Hypixel server. That for sure is interesting. Yeah, so this is a very limited assortment of mods. These are just a few mods that have first-party support on Feather. Generally, I would just recommend going for the Modrinf tab, as here you're able to find everything, essentially. Like, can I find model shifter? Oh yeah, I totally can. Okay, there we go. So we can find every single mod. That's great. Now, when we click on Manage Mods again, in the top left, we just get taken back to this screen. Okay, so here we can delete mods. We can disable them temporarily if we want. That's all very cool and dandy. Unfortunately, I have not found any way to disable the Feather client. Like, we currently have a Fabric installation here and we have mods installed, but I assume that if we boot the game, we will still also have all of the Feather client features, which is something I don't want. I want to create my own custom experience, which it so far doesn't allow me to do. Now, other than this, we just have a search feature, we have a toggle all feature, but again, no way to just disable Feather. Okay, maybe we will stumble upon that in a bit. The next tab is skins. And it seems like here we're able to change our skin, which is great. So can we just look for any skin here? Can I look for Kasasura, for example? The skin of user Kasasura has been successfully added. Added to what? Where has it been added to? Well, not to the Feather client. It has been added to something. I have no clue. Okay, we do have a capes section here, which does actually show all the capes I have available on this account. I assume I'm just able to select, for example, the common cape. There we go. And then we do apply. Nice. Skin.cape.show success something. We got it. It has changed. We now have a new cape. We don't have a new skin. Maybe if I add a URL, it will work? I got a link here of a skin called grilled cheese. So that should be awesome. Let's press enter. The request doesn't seem to be a valid skin. Well, it is. I'm sorry to tell you, Feather, but this is a link which would work fine with any skin plugin. But sure, I can also just download it. Maybe that's what it wants me to do. There we go. File chosen. Skin search added.success. It still does not show up. Okay. Well, maybe if I reboot the launcher, it will work. Oh, yeah, there they are. Okay. I don't know why I had to reboot my launcher for that, but it totally worked. So I can now change my skin by clicking on here, which I'm not gonna do. The Braid Shop skin is iconic at this point, but it seems like we are easily able to change skins this way. Okay, cool. It does work now. Maybe it was just a weird bug. Now we also have a servers section here. Create a server? Let's see what that's about. So can I just host a server on my own PC through the Feather client. That's interesting. I'm gonna call it Kasai Sora. Proxy hostname. Can I also do Kasasora? Except the EULA? Yeah, sure. Ooh, server Kasasora has been successfully created. That is cool. That is a cool feature, I gotta say. So we have a few settings here. Let's see, edit server. Here we can allocate more RAM if that is something we want to do. And we also have player slots, but it does actually give us a public URL, kasasora.feathermc.gg. So does that mean it will do the tunneling for us, so we don't have to port forward and can just host a server from the Feather client? Because if that's the case, that's pretty cool. I guess we will have a look at that in a bit. Now a bit more to the right, we got my signed in accounts, which currently is Bradshop. You can add more accounts if you want and then easily switch between them, which is really nice. And then there is the profile option, which it seems like it allows me to link different social media accounts to my Feather client, which I am not gonna do, but you could if you want. Then there is settings, and I kinda hope there is an option here to disable the Feather client features, but to be honest, I think the chance of that is very, very slim at this point. But let's have a look. We're able to allocate more RAM to our Minecraft. We're able to change the path, and again, it seems like this is the vanilla path of the game, which, just like with the Lunar client, means that it will just be using our vanilla installation. We don't have multiple instances, and we're not able to easily switch different instances. So that is for sure disappointing. That is one of the main features why having a launcher like Prism or Modrinf is so awesome. You can have multiple separate instances with separate worlds, separate mods, separate settings, separate anything really. It seems like that is not gonna be the case for Feather as well. So that is for sure disappointing. And then we have some Java settings, we have some hardware settings, debug mode, we have a repair game section, which again only shows Fabric. Then we have a log viewer, automatically open when the game starts. Let's not do that, thank you. And then we have add personalization, and yeah, that's about it. Just some language settings and whatever, but nothing crazy. That is a bummer. Okay, so let's see what happens when I click on Launch Fabric. I guess it will just launch the Feather client with all of Feather client's glory. And yes, that is exactly what it does. We're in the Feather client now. Okay, well, that is extremely unfortunate, because this means that there is no way in the launcher of the Feather client to disable all of Feather client's features, which means that if you want to use the launcher of Feather, you always need to use the actual client part, meaning that this launcher can never compete to be the best Minecraft launcher, as it cannot really be used as a standalone Minecraft launcher. And no matter how great the features of the Feather client are, we're not gonna have a look at them in this video. It is still the launcher test, we're only checking out launchers, and by having a look at the launcher of the Feather client, it is pretty clear that this launcher is not really competing with any of the others. I do want to make clear that I'm not saying Feather is bad or anything like that. I have still not tried Feather, and I've not checked out any of Feather's features. If you don't care about using Feather, or you're using Feather already, then at least the launcher you get alongside with it is pretty nice. For example, the server management feature. That is cool. If we click on Start Server, it will go ahead and boot up a server on our own PC. And we can now just copy this link, add it to our Minecraft, and you can see the server is actually up. That is really, really cool. And you can now just share this link with your friends to easily play Minecraft multiplayer. So in terms of features, the launcher is great. But again, unlike Lunar, it doesn't allow you to disable the client, which means it can't be used as a standalone launcher whatsoever. Now, if you have any more recommendations of launchers or client launchers I should check out in the next episode, do let me know in the comment section down below. And with that being said, that's gonna be it for today. Do make sure to subscribe to my channel, join my Discord. Thank you so much, channel members. And then I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, see you later, bye bye!